Okay, what's up? This is LOSKO Projects. This is my second episode, uno, dos. And anyways, we got a special guest right here. He's Matt Pailes. He's a beast from the East, and he packs toast. No, he don't pack toast. But anyways, he's been in Sacramento for a while now. He's a genuine and humble dude, and we thank you for being on the show, man.
Thanks,
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Hell yeah,
I'm
dude.
excited about it. I see you putting it online and stuff, and I'm like excited when I see people doing their thing and making something of it, and not just talking about it.
Yeah.
So I saw you. I was like, oh, what's he doing here? Podcast? And I was like, he's doing like skate thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
Yeah, it's just something that I wanted to do for a long time, and I just had to do it just for Sacramento to get the history and the basis of Sacramento out there, and let people know what's going down, especially you.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna go start from the beginnings.
All right.
Start from the beginnings in what was it, Newport?
Newburyport.
Yeah, Newburyport.
Newburyport was yeah.
So how was it skating out there? And
So Newburyport's a town in Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's like actually a couple towns over from the small ass town where I grew up in Rowley.
Okay.
But it's Newburyport is like a small little town, and it like had a skate park and all this like wooden ramps back in the day. We had this fiberglass blue ramp that was from the 70s. We used to skate.
Straight old school.
Yeah, and actually I think like Dave Baginski's uncle, he's the first guy that ever sponsored me at this place called the Board Shop in Hampton Beach, Massachusetts, or New Hampshire, but it's right on the border. So I grew up skating there, and then we used to the Newburyport kids started a little skate park, and we started a little skate organization. We ended up getting like a school bus and went and saw like a Matt Hensley, Ron Allen demo, and we saw a bunch of the Boston skaters, and we're like, dude, these guys.
Straight shredders, huh?
Can I swear?
Oh, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you do.
These guys fucking ripping, and we were like, "Oh my god, these guys are sick!" And it was like Robbie Gangemi was there. I don't know if you remember him.
Oh, yeah,
I think Jamal maybe was there. This dude named Adam Ayer, and so it's all these rad guys from Boston, and they had this company called Nava that was like kind of like Shut Skates,
Yeah, Shut Skates.
but it was like the Boston version, and it kind of Connecticut. But it was cool. It was like these big, clunky boards. So anyway, I grew up skating there. And then once we saw the Boston guys, we were like, we got to go to Boston, dude. And we used to take this thing called the T, or the train into Boston. So that's when we started really skating Boston a lot. But I grew up skating, Massachusetts, and lived there until I was like 19.
Oh, 19? Okay. Then why did you want to come out to Cali and skate, like San Francisco and whatnot?
Yeah, well, at first, I mean, it's just because it's like literally snowing half the year.
Yeah.
6
So
months of the
you
year,
can't
you're
skate.
inside. Everybody from the East Coast knows it's like, oh, this sucks, you can't skate.
Skate in your garage?
Yeah, I skated in my garage. I learned 360 flips in my garage on a Rob Ross scoff.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it was 0. It wasn't like 5 degrees. It was 0 degrees. And I remember just trying it over and over until I finally landed one. So that's a cool memory. And I skated in my driveway in my garage just like because I lived in the cuts. But yeah, we'd take the train to Boston and all that. And then what were you saying? You asked me if I skated in my garage, but then
The moving to SF and stuff like that.
Yeah, so why I moved here, like we wanted to move here because it was so cold, and me and my homies were like, I was gonna move in with this guy. Do you remember a dude named Jason Maxwell? He skated for like a bunch of companies in San Diego.
No.
So he's from Rhode Island. We were gonna move out here with him, and
You guys like had a plan together?
Yeah, like he's like, yeah, I'm moving to San Diego. I was like, cool, I'm moving to San Diego. I skated for GNS, and like that was down there.
Yeah, GNS.
But my friend Greg, his name's Salba, he lived in SF, and he's like, dude, come move out here with Drehobel and us in San Francisco. And I was like looking at EMB.
Yeah, EMB.
And so watching all the footage, and I was like, dude, I want to live in
like
EMB.
Hub Hideout.
Yeah, Plan B video just came out with Mike Carroll's part, and everybody wanted to move to SF. And so I was part of that whole
the boom of
generation
the
of
boom
like,
San Francisco.
and what's it called? The invasion of like T-Dogs.
Yeah. Before the skate stoppers killed everything. And stuff.
Yeah. So we were probably considered T-Dogs, just kids from out of town skating EMB, and everyone was like, the locals were kind of. But the first person I met was Joe Brook.
Okay.
He was all in up the 3-stair. I think he was kick flipping up it. Joe Brooks from Slap Magazine. I think I skated with like, I think Matt Rodriguez was there that night even, but I didn't know him at the time. Skated with like a bunch of guys the first night. I saw Henry. I was like, damn, that's.
Yeah, because back when I first started skating, it was like around 90, 91, and I would just see the Plan B videos and all them, and just shredding, dude. Just like, why can't I skate like that? But I was like in first grade, so I was like, these guys were older than me, but just seeing the how San Fran had it like locked down with Pier 7 and Hub Hideout. Hub Hideout was nice.
Yeah.
The only time I went to Hub Hideout was when they had all the skate stoppers there, so I didn't even get to skate.
Yeah.
So I just looked at it, I was like, that's cool.
And it was so high,
Yeah.
you'd think you couldn't do anything on it,
Yeah.
but once you like hauled ass at it and would jump
Ollie
up
out,
there, you're
yeah.
like, oh, okay, I can get up on this. So, I mean, yeah, it was a hard thing to skate, but you were always, I mean, I got a few things on it, and I was psyched.
Yeah,
I was psyched when I
seen
got
them.
it. When I got a trick on it, I'd be like, oh, I got a
Yeah.
trick on Hubba. And you know, everything in SF looks cool in the videos, but it's fucking always
Always something
rough
like,
as hell with a thing in front of it. Like even the C block had like 2 little divots, and you could. It's like, how did these guys do all these flip tricks to slide with these little cracks right here?
They were just used to it, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, skating EMB was just like, there's so many stories that were
dude.
just crazy. I remember Kelch was always there. What's up, man? You got smoke? You know, like that was like the culture, you know. And I grew up. At one point, you know, I've been there for a few months, maybe like 4 or 5 months, and Sean Young and this guy Hurley lived there with Jamie Thomas for a little bit, but we were running out of money, and I remember I was just selling like my think boards or my old wheels, and you couldn't tell if they were flat spotted. There was bricks.
Oh yeah, because there was bricks.
There was bricks. I'd be skating my boy, why don't we buy these wheels? And we just sell wheels for $5 and hit Carl's Jr. And it was a struggle, and then and then eventually, like, I started skating with Drehobel a lot, and Think was like, you know, started giving me boards.
Yeah, it hooked you up and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Think was bad, dude. I had an old Think board, and I think I got it from, I don't know if it was Rafter that gave me it.
Oh, yeah?
It might have been Mike Rafter. Yeah, he gave me to it at Sutter, and I had like this beat up board. I was a little kid. He just came up to me. He was like, "Hey, dude, you want a board?"
Oh,
and
that's cool.
I was like, thanks, because I was like, my board's a piece of shit. So,
yeah, and Rafter's a cool ass dude.
Yeah, dude. I haven't seen that guy in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the AMB was crazy. I wish I could, you know, I wish I was the age to go there and skate there, but I wasn't. I was, you know, a little younger.
Yeah.
You know, so I never really seen all that stuff. But
yeah, the pier was like the second wave. But yeah, by that time I skated with EMB a lot, but after a while skating with Drehobel, he like skated everything, so I would end up skating everything. And the guys on Think, once we got on Think, the whole theme of the team at the time was like Phil, Shao, Drehobel, and everyone else was like, Greg Carroll would always push like, you gotta skate everything, transition, ditches, whatever.
yeah,
And so
anything that's
yeah,
out
so
there,
it was like that was the
yeah.
whole vibe of the team was, let's go skate anything and everything.
And you're still the same way.
Yeah, and it kind of made me into who I am now.
Yeah,
Like instead
definitely.
of just going around skating little blocks and trying to do little tricks, which is what I was doing, it was like, yo, you skate everything, so why not like show that instead of just like trying to be like it. Like at that time in skating, everyone wanted to be super fresh and clean and perfect, and that's cool. But like at the same time, it's some of the rowdest skaters like Omar San, Tim Broch, Phil Shaw, all those guys at the time were like skating everything.
Yeah, I just think if you have a more of a creative side when you're skateboarding, I think it's more fun.
Yeah.
Like if you just stick to the regular stuff, I think it just gets boring after a while. Like me going to skate parks all the time, to be honest, it's getting boring as hell. I need to go out in the streets and hit, you know, some banks and stuff and do stuff like that because it makes skateboarding like way more fun.
Yeah, it's like an adventure in itself. Like even just to go out on a street day and you end up going skating like some weird ditch, and it's not like at the skate park you could have gotten like 10 tricks, but I get real bored with skate parks. I'm a little bit antisocial, so I'm like, I gotta talk to people right now.
Get away from the
get away so like I go out with a few homies and we find some weird shit and be like, oh look, we could fix this thing or put this thing here and skate this thing, and all that's part of the whole adventure. Like yesterday I went out to skate and I wasn't really feeling it, but I was like, let me just scope out spots. I know, or let me drive behind this apartment complex and see if anything's back here. Oh, look at this rail, like, and then find something. I put down a little, I make little lists of where shit's at. I'm like, oh, I found a rail on Marconi.
Yeah, see that's skateboarding.
You know what I mean?
He's still doing it for like the roots of skateboarding and like, you know, the creative side of it. That's what skateboarding's about, man. It's not just about. I mean, skate parks are great. You know, they do a lot of stuff for the kids. You know, growing up now, and you know, it gives them something to skate and not get in trouble. But at the same time, it's like you got to go make your own like wave of doing stuff out in the streets.
Yeah,
so
and skate parks is like good for me. It's great to warm up and get ready for the day, and then I'm gonna go out and skate. And sometimes I'll just skate the park only. But yeah, that's for me. That's the main thing is really just going out and finding stuff is really what makes my day fun and makes it enjoyable still. You know.
Yeah, hell yeah. Anyways, we got Sacramento. When was the transition from San Francisco to Sacramento?
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
so I lived there for a long time, and I had done like a bunch of tours with Think, and they'd give me a board, and honestly I'm really thankful to Greg Carroll for all that stuff, and to like Keith and Fish, all the guys at Think.
Yeah.
But I was starting to be more like into like a different vibe. Like iPath was about to start. We had started a little company called Half Life. I was skating with Matt Fields and Mike Dare a lot, and all these guys from different teams. And we were thinking like, let's start a clothing company or a board company or a shoe company or whatever. And Matt Field was one who kind of really pushed on the business side of getting a shoe company going.
Yeah, the iPads, definitely.
Yeah, and me and Matt, and it was getting expensive to live in SF, and so I had met Matt Rodriguez through all them, and he was like, he was like in the band, the Storytellers.
Yeah, Storytellers.
And they were like, or it wasn't even a band yet. He was just playing a lot of music, and he's like, just move here. He's like, yeah, if you want to move here, you could crash on the couch for a bit till you find a spot. And I found a spot for like $600, a nice little house, and it's $300 a rent with my roommate. So I was like, compared to SF, you're paying like $1,000 a month.
Like, this is a hookup right here.
Yeah, and just before then, though, I went on this little like cross-country tour on a bus and a backpack, and just wanted to travel everywhere. I went to New York. I went and stayed in Philly for a week with this guy named Dan. His name's Jagger on Instagram. Ball. He's like he runs the Supreme now in England. He's an English guy, but I stayed in Chicago with him for a few days, and then I went to New York for a few days. I went and skated Boston, stayed with a bunch of people there, and I was just on this like cross-country like soul search tour. And then I was like, I gotta move somewhere that's not SF, that's less expensive.
That's cheaper.
Yeah,
Sacramento was the spot.
Yeah, and I ended up here, and I was like, this is the coolest town. Like, it's got a little bit of everything, and I've been everywhere.
It's fucking mellow here.
Yeah, I've been everywhere. Shit. Yeah, it's mellow. I've been everywhere, and this place is mellow. It's fun. There's tons of stuff to do. There's not a lot. It's not a lot of like thousands of people on top of each other.
Yeah, like SF or New York. Some crazy ass busy.
Yeah, so I just ended up staying here, and that's when I met my kid's mom, and we had everything started evolving from there. But yeah, that was right around Supernaut.
Okay. Yeah, Supernaut's cool. Yeah. That's when I used to get boards from Matt Rodriguez, and I think you stayed downstairs.
Yeah.
That was maybe 2001, 2002?
Yeah, right around 2001 and 2. Yeah, because 2003 is when I moved out of there.
Yeah, I was bugging the shit out of him every day. But
were you? Were you just a young kid at that point?
Yeah, I was maybe.
You went to that house?
Yeah.
The one that was in the 411 and stuff?
Yeah, I went to a couple of parties, and I really didn't. I was like one of those shy kids that I didn't talk to many people, and I still don't.
Yeah.
Like people always ask me, "Hey Nate, well, you should have been talking to all these pros, and you should have known everyone." I was like, I didn't care for that though.
Yeah.
I just wanted to skate, and just I didn't. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should have got like hookups." I was like, I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
I cared about just skating and being around people, good people.
Yeah.
That was all I cared about. Yeah, but I used to go there. And for like little parties here and there, and Cardio would be there, and I would just be in a cut, just sitting down.
Yeah.
I would even.
I remember I was such a square bear back then, and I didn't party at all. And so I'd always be like, "Oh, they're so loud up there." Be like, when it's a party.
Yeah, because I never seen you up there when I was there. I was only there maybe like
up
a
until
times.
that time. I mean, I drink beers now, and I went through a little phase where I was a drinker, and I'd hang out and go out to bars all the time. But back then I didn't drink at all.
Okay.
Like I was all on my Rasta reggae thing,
definitely.
and I was like, no drinking, no meat. I was super into it, and so at that point I was kind of like, parties, man. Like, why are so many people up there?
I just want to go sleep, bro.
Yeah, like I was like, I was all making my music and stuff. I had it with a 4-track, But yeah, it was like I remember when I moved out of there though, it was cool because we both had our own spots and it was
a lot different.
Yeah, it's better. It's not like one of your good friends is up there being a pain in the ass, then you can be friends again.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I saw Matt yesterday. I was skating up the street, and we were leaving. I was leaving like the UFC thing, and then he was coming out of his little apartment. I saw his dog at first. I was like, "What's up, Luna?" And then we were just talking a little.
Yeah, that's crazy, but yeah. How? What was the whole like turnaround with you being like into reggae music, and when did you start doing like your music side?
Okay, so I got into reggae when I was living in SF, and I was starting to. I had all these old records. I had a Bob Marley record, and I already had listened to Bob a bunch, but I started listening to a bunch of reggae, Bob and all these like dub albums, and I didn't really get it too much, and I really got into like reggae and the culture and what it's all about, and just I'm real into history anyway, and anything to do with like knowledge of your history and history of the world. So I really studied and got into that stuff, and then just it really became like part of me, And through that, I remember I was trying to learn guitar, and I sucked at it. You know, in SF, I'd be plunking around trying to figure it out, and then I ended up, when I moved here to Sac, you know, I was playing like congas and stuff, and Matt Rod and all these guys and the Storytellers, and Kenny, he's like the singer for Storytellers. I just thought he was the coolest dude, and he was playing guitar, and I was watching him, and I was like, I want to play guitar like
I
that
want to
guy.
do that shit.
Yeah, and so like I was watching his chords, and I started learning chords and reggae chords, and once I learned to strum the guitar and get like reggae skanks, I'd just start writing lyrics and singing, and it was terrible at first. For a long time it was pretty terrible, but I liked it, you know. And I was enjoying learning music, and so then from there, you know, as technology evolved as well, I was able to learn how to make beats, and then like, you know, from 2001 to 2018, technology's like gone so far, so all these music programs,
stuff is a lot easier too to make beats.
Yeah, and I learned music, but then I learned how to formulate music and make and produce music as well. So through that, I just like I just love reggae in general, like the old school, the soul and roots reggae from like right when Bob first came out, like right after ska and rocksteady time. I love that kind of old school reggae, and so I got into all that, including roots, including the new dance hall stuff, and like I said, I still love every aspect of like Jamaican music. You know, it's just
that's dope, man.
It's like a lot of them, with Jamaican music, a lot of times they copy like soul songs, but they do it with their own little flavor and
like
sting, and they're always like, their singing is always on key, and their singing is always great. It just inspires you.
A lot of it's positive too. I love it, man.
Yeah, positive message. And it's funny because, like I said, like now my son is like a little reggae master.
He's a beast. I watch him. I always see his clips on his Instagram, and
I know I'm posting them all the time, and people are, and my son's like, "Don't post that. It's not good." I'm like, dude, if you,
it looks like he's always practicing. Like every time you come home, you just see him, and you're like, "Oh shit, I gotta get him."
It's like us with skating. It's like that's all he thinks about, and that's all he does. But it's cool because at least I can relate to him.
Yeah, you can relate to him and be like, give him some tips.
I'll be like, I know that song, or what is that song you're playing? Oh yeah, that's that one. And he's like, does it sound right?
He's like, Dad, I'm just trying to get better than you.
he's already better than me at music for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, his ear is like, he's one of those kids that like when he listens to something, immediately
he can
oh, that's this, and this, and then he'll just go like this and find it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
That's
so I got him in some music programs for high school, and for me it's important to be like, you know, just like my mom did with me, just be like, you know what, if you love what you do, just keep pushing at that. You know, I'm gonna push him to do okay in school, but I'm not gonna like, you know, be like one of those, like, I don't want to be like one of those parents that's just like always you know, super high expectations when that's not what they want to do. I want him to do what he loves.
Just be like in his face, hey, you gotta do this.
But, but just give him the basics. Like, you gotta survive and get your money and get what you need to get. And I'll probably encourage him to go to college though, because he could do that with music too.
Yeah. For sure. All right. How we are on time?
18 minutes.
Only 18 minutes? No, we gotta go longer than that.
Yeah, you can ask more questions too.
Yeah.
And then you guys edit it too, right?
Yeah, we edit everything. So we just keep going.
We don't have this in between stuff?
No, just between stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask me about anything, Supernaut, iPath,
the
tours or something.
Supernaut. That was, I liked a lot of the graphics that were on the boards, and I skated probably, well, from Matt, I probably had about 10, 15 boards just from him.
Yeah. They were funny because they pressed the boards individually, and the boards were super strong and good, and everybody at the time in the industry was like, where are you guys getting your boards? And the guy who did the company didn't want to make boards for anybody else. He was a furniture maker.
Oh, okay. Wow, he's a
furniture maker, and
he just started making boards.
Yeah, he made the molds. He met this guy named Mike Ballard. He's an older like photographer from Southern California. He's the guy that met him and got the connection and created the whole thing. And then he just kind of left it. Like after a little while, Mike Ballard just left and said, you know what, you guys go ahead with it. And at the time, because Mike Ballard started it as like Cairo, Paul Sharp, John Miner, and Brian Gaberman. Those are the four guys, and it was going. And then Paul Sharp was still kind of like stayed with it throughout the whole thing. And you know, everything else, you know, everyone else left. Cairo even was on for a bit, and he went on Real. But once me and Matt had it, we kind of turned it into our little thing.
Did you guys deal with the graphics too, wise? Or,
Yeah,
you did
we
the
actually
graphics too?
did a lot of our own graphics at the beginning, and for a long time, and that was pretty cool. I mean, some of them were. I look back and I'm like, that thing is terrible, but some of them I thought were sick, and then they brought in some graphics guys for a little while too, and yeah, there were some funny stories. They'd always have these meetings. I don't know if Matt told you this story, but they always have these meetings where they're like introduce graphics to us, and one of them was like these dudes in outer space, and they were just so ridiculous.
Yeah, that was nothing to do with what you
and they're
guys-
like, Supernaut, you're out, and me and Matt were just clowning these graphics.
Like,
and
what the hell is
I
this
was
shit?
clowning them and
Yeah,
making
yeah.
fun of them, and then the guy who drew the graphics was at the meeting, sitting right there with
You're
us,
like-
and we had no idea.
Yeah, he's probably like, oh, you assholes.
We're like, yeah, I get where you're going with this, Supernaut, but it's kind of spacey, man. Like, this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
like,
it's like not where we want to go. With
yeah, we were just
graphic-wise.
making fun of the graphics, like, oh my god, what are these? These are terrible, and we're laughing at them. And then the guys all, oh yeah, I guess you guys don't like those ones. I could change. And I was like, oh, sorry, man, no offense. you
No
know?
offense to your shitty graphics, but
Yeah.
we don't like it.
No offense, but back to the drawing board. you know?
Yeah. You
So
need-
yeah, they started changing the direction with graphics and stuff, and that was okay. I think as a if you're making a company or if you're doing something like that, it's important to have continuity, but that depends on what type of company. Some companies that want to do all types of different graphics. Every time it's a different theme,
Yeah.
and that's cool too.
But it seemed like too you guys always wanted to do something like your own because you guys
Yeah.
had I think you guys were both creative as shit, so you guys wanted to do your own graphics and do your own thing as a board company.
Yeah, and we're both creative and we both have similar stuff going on.
Yeah.
And so as time went on, it was like he started branching towards something else. And I remember, I think what it was Supernaut was kind of going out, and then Craig from Satori had approached me and was like, why don't we start a company called Creation? Or no, why don't we start a company? What do you want to call it?
Yeah.
And I was like, culture, creation. I threw out some ideas, and he's like, creation sounds cool. And I started drawing up all the original graphics for creation. And that was just, what I started with creation at the beginning was pretty dope. And just as time went on, I think it just didn't really it was cool, and it was awesome. It was similar to Supernaut graphics wise.
Okay.
But I think after a few years, I had started to become I was still skating a lot, but my focus began to become different. I was a dad.
Yeah. Just
And I think
things were different.
yeah, and I was with some girl that I was all into and started skating, but not as much during that time in my life. Honestly, right after creation started, and I went on a bunch of tours and it was cool. But after a few years, I started not focusing on as much skating, and then and I was skating, but it wasn't like I was pushing it, and really I was not focused, And from creation was cool. It stuck around for a long time, actually until a year or so ago. But it never really,
Yeah, because I was wondering about that because I seen the website and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, 2014. I was like, have they done anything since or
yeah,
whatnot?
yeah. Kind of just we all let it go away, And then Satori, who helped run creation, basically was all out of there. They he lives up in Humboldt and he's doing his thing, and that he's killing it. He's in the cannabis industry now, and he still does wheels. But for creation was not really a focus, and actually skateboarding wasn't a focus. So he slowly started going more into clothing and trade shows and that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
I just went away from all
But
that.
tours, before that we were doing tours to Panama. We had Ron Allen was on the team for a bit. Ryan De La Torre was on the team for a bit.
Didn't you do a couple of
think
videos?
Guru was on the-
Didn't you do a video out in Panama or something like
Yeah,
that?
we had a video in Panama. We had some video parts that were cool, and it was cool. It was a cool run. There was a time a year ago that I kind of wanted to take it over and do my own thing with it, but I feel like it's kind of run its course, and and right now I'm kind of thinking of. I have tons of graphics I do and art that I've been super into doing, and when the time's right, I'm gonna formulate just printing up my own boards, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna call it yet though.
Okay.
I got some ideas.
Wait, well, let
but-
us know. So.
Yeah,
Yeah, let us know.
it's gonna be all mainly my art at the beginning, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Just for fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if it takes off and does something, that's cool. But it's kind of like what you do here. I just want to get my foot in and start doing it,
Yeah.
and then and I know
My
this-
foot's barely in though.
Yeah, that's
it's
cool
like
though.
It's just sticking. It's I got a little toe.
That's
in
what you
there,
gotta get before you dive in. Yeah,
I know.
You
You
just
get all
gotta-
nervous and shit, but you gotta start somewhere, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, man, if you started that.
Yeah, and I'll probably reach out to Bruce Rodella, who does a lot of the boards for Matt too, just to get some original graphics. And right now, I get boards from Matt's little S-La Boom when I need to. I'll get something from Matt, and I'll probably do a collab graphic with S-La Boom too. Hopefully.
Nice.
I really think that's cool.
Yo, I had a little mishap on the internet with S-La Boom. Some random person messaged me.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, they didn't even have a profile or anything, and they were like, "Oh, you're using them."
Oh yeah.
And I said, "Using?" I said, "Bro, I've been working this shit a long time ago. I don't know where you came
friends
from."
with him forever. Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know where you're coming from." And then I told him, I was like, "You need to just calm down." And then all of a sudden that profile's gone.
Yeah.
Deleted.
And I think it's like Matt doesn's care as long as you're promoting and pumping it. He's cool with that.
Yeah. Matt's always been cool with me, so
yeah.
S-La Boom. That's where it's at.
Yeah, and like I think so I get boards from him, and it's like I have 2 sponsors right now, kind of. Because at my age, it doesn't really fucking matter.
Yeah, definitely.
So like this guy Atreyu too gives me these boards from this company called Forward.
Okay.
That he started out of Oakland, and it's pretty cool. It's like his own little thing. He's printing up his own boards. He went to Jamaica, and like did this big promotion thing. Yeah, and there's a skateboard company shop out of Jamaica, and their Instagram is like Skateboarding Limited or Unlimited Jamaica or something. And it's really cool. It's like the first real skate shop in Jamaica, and I see all these little kids like
that's awesome.
Psyched on skating, learning, and so Atreyu really kind of pushed getting that going with them, and so hopefully we'll do a little trip out there. Like it's just that the money's right.
See, that's dope. Right. Like especially in the areas that don't really have skateboarding, and you can push it there and get other kids like familiar with it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Dude.
And then on that, I'll touch on that. The original time that iPath went to Jamaica, it was mainly like organized by, I'd say, Joey Terche from Ace Trucks. He got like 100 boards together throughout the whole industry. Craig kind of helped a lot, but I really got to give it to Joey on putting it together. We got wood out in Jamaica. It was like, I think 30 different pros.
Oh, okay.
Like, or maybe 20, but like Nigel was there as a little kid with his brother. He was just a little kid before he's famous. It was like Nilton, Neves, Jake, Rupp, Ed Salego, me, Carl Watson, Craig, Cardiel. We all went at the same time. And Chris Ortiz came too. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's a photographer from down south. We got there and it was like, okay, we're staying on the beach, and everyone's like, stay on the beach, like, or in these little huts.
What do we do?
In these huts with this family that Craig and his brother knew, and we were like, okay. Some of us didn't bring a sleeping bag. Chris Ortiz was like, what the hell is this? This is ridiculous. He was kind of pissed, and then he found a little hotel up the street that was so cutty. And the hotel was like basically like by the 3rd or 4th night, I was like sleeping out like in a sleeping bag, and I was like, I'm just gonna go up to that hotel. And I walked up and there's no security, no one around. I literally just walked into one of the rooms and went to bed.
He's like, I'm gonna have
the door was unlocked. I was like, I'm sleeping in this bed.
Chilling up in here.
Yeah, and so like a lot of them stayed in the hotels, and it was just like a crazy time in Jamaica at the time we were there, because there was 2 political parties were like voting. And it was just like streets were blocked off.
A bunch of crazy shit going on.
Yeah, streets are blocked off. People are, we were like, we want to go skate down this little area because it had a couple of little round, like, there's footage of it in the 411, a couple of round little things on the ground, and I wanted to like nose bonk and ollie it. And Carl got footage doing like a nose wheelie 360 out. And they were like, we got to get out of here, dude. This is not good territory. This is right on the edge of both political parties, and there's always, and the locals were nervous, and they had their little. The locals seriously travel with a machete right there in their car, just like that's their little weapon of choice.
And they see a bunch of skaters. Like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Kids run up to your car with spray bottles, and they're like, let me get your car, man, and they rush your car, almost like aggressively, like trying to. And some of them will grab it and grab your shit,
like you're hella famous and shit.
No, it's just like in Jamaica they're just trying to jack you a little bit, and you're a tourist. And so Chris was our tour guide. He had a little machete, and the kids would come rushing the car, and he'd be like, get the blood clot, and he'd have this little thing, and all the kids would scatter away. Like,
get the fuck away.
Yeah, it was just crazy place, man. It was like sick, But we had a good time. We made 2 ramps. It's like, there's an old 401 that has all the footage of it. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it was just a really cool.
Yeah, I've watched so many 411.
Yeah,
so many damn.
So it was a cool time, and we did a lot of cool stuff, but I would like to go back again and see what it's like now, because that was like probably, 15 years ago. Okay. So just to see how it's, see the world has developed so much in 15 years. So to see Jim,
I thank you for being on the show.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you want to give any shout outs or anybody to?
Shout outs to I guess everybody that helped me out in my life.
My mom, my dad.
Yeah, you know, and then also, yeah, if you get a chance, check out my homie Josh Mosh's YouTube. We're always making like cool little videos once or twice a week.
They do it all the time. They're shredding, man.
Yeah,
It's
we
good
just
shit.
go out, and even if it's just fun, dorky skating, he puts out cool stuff on his YouTube channel, and yeah, man, just like keep skating, keep doing your thing. You know, don't care what other people think, and just do what you like to do, and be creative and find new things to do every day. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Oh, hell yeah, for sure. And you can follow this man right here of many talents, killing in the street still, at Ross_Matthew_Pailes. And that's about it, man. But this is LOSKO Projects.
And if you want to buy my mixtape,
Yeah, buy a mixtape.
No.
Got mixtapes, got everything. No, but yeah, this is it, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate Pailes for being on the show. And that's it. Peace. We out.
Big up LOSKO Projects. Keep it going.
The L, the O, the S, the K, the O.